Good.
Nice.
So, how long had you been thinking about doing a seafood book? You did the vegetable one first.
I did Vegetable Simple first, and then this one is same thing about simplicity.
right.
However, very different than Vegetable Simple. Vegetable Simple doesn't have a structure, there's no chapters. Here I felt like if you want to make cooking seafood simple, you need guidance.
Oh, yeah.
And we went through the techniques. So we have 8 or 9 techniques in the book.
And like pictures and stuff. May I look at this as you're answering this to me? Here, you can show me your book. You drive.
Yeah, so we teach you how to, so we have all the techniques. So you go with raw, cure, marinated, then you have steam, poach, fried, baked, sauté, broiled,
Okay.
grilled, and even preserved.
Oh, really?
So we
Oh,
go
okay.
by chapters, and we guide you
By
in every
technique.
chapter by techniques.
Okay.
But also we show you how to fillet fish.
Oh, wow.
And
That-
you can
oh,
see
look
like
at that.
we really
Oh
go
my
like
goodness, look at
we
that.
go in really in details.
Oh,
like
yeah.
You put your knife and look at the picture and you cannot miss it.
So kind of
you're gonna be successful. So this is a flat fish with a fluke. This is snapper. So we went through the techniques, how to remove the skin, how
Wow.
to remove the bones.
almost like
how
a textbook.
It's like almost like a textbook.
Okay.
How to
That's
open
incredible.
clams on oysters, like
Okay.
really showing you exactly where the
Are
knife
these your
is
hands?
going. Those ones are not my hands. No, those ones are my hands actually. Yes, because I use the hands of the team to make everybody feel good.
Yeah, that makes
and,
sense.
Those are my. This is.
That's your hands.
Yeah, this is my hand. And we even teach you how to season. Because a lot of people say, oh, it's too salty or it's bland, and it's a technique.
Oh, for sure.
So we share that technique in the book, and it makes, you can see we have an entire page dedicating
To literally just how to season.
how to season, how to
Incredible.
remove the bones, and then how to make a carpaccio, and then we have beautiful pictures. That's
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's almost like a coffee table book too, you know.
almost, but we want you to put stains on it.
Good. You want a dog ear in, say this one's my favorite, or
I don't have
wanna-
a favorite, but this one is definitely, I mean, the tuna carpaccio is definitely something that is a signature for us.
Sure.
We make it a bit more fancy at the restaurant, but this one is,
You can do it too.
you can do it at home. And again, we show you the techniques. So those ends are definitely
Right.
not mine.
Right.
Here's about steaming. We show you how to steam, and you,
Really, the
how to
step-by-step
boil the
pictures are
water, how
wonderful.
to put the basket on top, how to put the fish, cover it, remove it, and so on. So we go in depth with all the techniques.
wonderful.
And that, I believe, makes
It's different.
this book very helpful to make your life simple and to understand that cooking fish and seafood is simple.
Is simple enough. Is
Yes.
simple. So, how did you choose which fish and which dishes to include in this book?
So we choose fish that are not too esoterical, that are easy to find on markets, mostly from the ocean and from the sea, but you can replace a halibut or striped bass with a fish from the lake if you are living by the lake and you have someone bringing you some fish.
Sure.
Tuna, shrimp, salmon are always something that people recognize easily.
Sure.
But halibut, fluke, people are not necessarily familiar. Black bass, striped bass. We have mussels and clams and shrimp and lobster and many other species.
To introduce
that-
people to things that maybe they aren't so familiar with yet.
Yes, and then we give you a lot of tips to recognize when fish or seafood is fresh or not fresh.
It's so important. So many people get very nervous about that.
Because everybody had a bad experience in his house, cooking the fish, the house was stinky,
Right.
the kids refused to eat, it was too fishy.
That expensive fish that you bought that they
The
refused
fish was
to eat.
breaking in a pan. All of that is because the seafood is not fresh.
Ah.
So we give a lot of tips to buy whole fish, to buy fish in fillet, to buy shellfish. We really teach you how to be successful with the quality of the products. That will help you at the end because fish never smell like fish when it's fresh.
Right.
And the fillet of fish should be slightly translucid and firm. And you can check that when you go buy your product. And when you bring it home, We teach you how to storage it in a fridge.
It's important too. Wanna
Very
make sure.
important. And we guide you and say, and we also tell you not to keep it more than 24 hours.
Okay.
Cook
before
it
you
right
cook it.
away. If not, you have to freeze it because after 24 hours, it's not
not good
right.
enough.
And again, the house is going to be stinky, and you're going to
Nobody
have a
wants
lot
that.
of people mad at you.
Sure, sure. How does this help kind of demystify fish for a lot of people, especially with some of the unfamiliar species that people don't necessarily eat or cook with, for that matter?
Well, we're demystifying by going step by step. Once again, we take you by the hand and we go shopping together. And it's no rocket science. It's easy, but they are essential tips that will lead you to success. Then we take you in a kitchen and we show you how to cook your fish step by step again. And even if it's something that you have never seen before in your life, you'll be maybe not the first time very comfortable, but you'll be comfortable enough to say, I'm going to succeed.
Sure.
And it doesn't take that long. I mean, if you cook mussels and clams
It's moments.
in real time,
Yeah.
from beginning to end is 5 minutes. So that's fairly simple. If you make some ceviches, same thing. You put some lime juice, lemon juice, salt, pepper, some cilantro, and some onions, and you have a
Done.
beautiful, delicious ceviche. It's really less than 10 minutes.
And if you listen to the tips at the beginning in buying the fish and buying it as fresh as possible, you don't want to do too much to it, right?
You don't want to do too much. Fish is so subtle in texture and in flavor. The more you put in a plate, the more you lose the identity of the seafood that you are supposedly cooking. So you have to think simple. And the big mistake that I see with beginners very often is it's too much in a plate, it's too complicated, and then they get lost, and the fish get lost, and everybody gets lost.
And everybody's hungry still.
And second mistake, very often the cooks overcook the fish, and then it's dry, tasteless, nobody wants to eat it, everybody's disappointing. No,
We don't want that.
we don't want that.
So that I did want to ask you, what are some of the more forgiving fish? Like if you are trying to be more adventurous and do more with seafood in the kitchen, what are some of them that you could, they're more forgiving? It's not scallops, right? It's not the
No, fish is fairly forgiving if you pay attention to it. You have to be focused for a few minutes.
Okay.
Because you cannot cook fish for 3 hours. It's not like you're braising meats. You have to be putting the fish in a pan, look at it, keep an eye on it.
Don't walk away.
Don't walk. Well, you can walk away, but you make sure that when you start to see a crust forming on the bottom of the pan, on top of the pan and on the bottom of the fillet, you, with your spatula, you check, make sure that it's not sticking to the pan, make sure that it's not going to burn and be black. And those are little tips that are important. Then we teach you how to flip the fish, and then
So it doesn't break up, right?
so it doesn't break up. And then we use metal skewers at the restaurant, but even in my house and everywhere. And we go through the flesh of the fish, and we leave it for 10-15 seconds, and then we touch our hand with it, with the skewer. If the skewer comes back cold, fish is not cooked. If it's warm, it's medium rare. If it's hot, it's well done.
Interesting. All right, that is very helpful, practical information.
So you look at your fish, you just flipped it. 1 minute later, you put the skewer in it. You wait, you check, you're like, no, another minute. And until you become familiar with the process, you do that, and it's really idiot proof.
Idiot proof. All right, well, you heard it here first.
I promise.
I believe you. I believe you've cooked enough fish in your life. How much did you factor in or include sustainable fish, farm raised or responsibly raised? Like how much did that weigh into your decision about what you included?
So we address the subject about sustainability. We have a mini chapter about it. And I like wild seafood, but I don't want the ocean to be depleted or the rivers or the lakes to be depleted. So when some species are under stress, we do not serve them at the restaurant, and I don't recommend for people to buy them at the store. Give the fish a break, and they come back. An amazing example happened in the US actually in late 80s, beginning of the 90s. Striped bass on the East Coast. Suddenly the stock collapse is almost on the verge of extinction. And the government was very proactive and created quotas and seasons for catching the fish and so on. Today, that species came back and is plentiful.
Wonderful.
And it's a great success story. So we recommend to, again, check some lists like the Monterey Bay Aquarium. NOAA, which is a governmental agency, has a nice list too. And they guide you and tell you what to buy or not to buy. Farm raised, the fish doesn't taste as good as wild, but you have some people who do a good job and that are not giving the fish bad quality food and that are not polluting. And again, it's a little bit of investigation, or you have to create a relationship with your fishmonger,
to trust
or a relationship with the people that are serving the fish to you. And then you will be feeling good about it because you know you're not depleting the ocean, and you know you're not encouraging bad habits and bad farming.
All right, I'm almost done. I have two more things here. We are on the shore of Lake Erie here. This is where perch and walleye are plentiful. What would the best seafood chef in the world do with a fresh walleye out of Lake Erie?
I have never cooked walleye.
Never cooked walleye, okay.
No, but what I will do, I will look at it.
Smell it, maybe?
Smell it for sure.
Yes.
And then the first thing I will do, I will probably saute the fish and see how it is. Or I may try to cut a little piece of the fish by the head and see if it's good raw.
Okay.
And potentially make a marinated fish or ceviche or something like that.
Walleye ceviche. We might have to try that around here. Thank you so much, Chef Ripert. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming to Cleveland and sharing your book with us.
I'm so happy to be here, and people are charming and very welcoming. They stop me in the street to say hello. I'm happy here.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate
it. Thank you.
Are we okay on timing?
We're good.
Okay, good. 15 whole minutes? What's that? No, don't worry about that. I don't think. Nah, we'll be all right. I have a quick fire 5. Do I have 30 seconds or no?
Sure.
Okay, can I do one more thing? So every celebrity chef that I interview, I ask them the same 5 rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right.
I focus.
Good
now
stuff.
I'm stressed.
Okay. All right, Chef Ripert, what is a food that you won't eat?
Brains.
Brains. Okay, me neither. What ingredient can you not live without?
Salt.
What is the biggest mistake that home cooks make?
Complicate food.
Too complicated?
Too complicated.
Too complicated. Also, can we tell me something that is a technique or a recipe that you're still working on that kind of vexes you? Anything?
Not really. I'm sorry.
Hey, at least you're honest. I love it.
Maybe I'm not adventurous enough. I don't know. But I
you can pretty much do
explore a
anything.
lot.
That's good. That's good. I'm not surprised. Have you ever thought what your last meal would be? What you want your last meal?
Yes, I did many times.
What do you think?
A black truffle shaved on top of toasted bread, a bit of rock salt, olive oil, and a bottle of good red wine.
Sounds good to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. All right.